And we want to welcome in now from basketballsiders.insiders.com. Jeez, Alex Kennedy on the program. Terry Stott's coming up later. Alex, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
How's the weather in Florida?
Well, 40 degrees, which is freezing for me. It's gotten down to 30, 40. But then it's weird, the next day it's like 70. It just jumps all around. So
I
you
know,
never know when you leave your house.
I know all my relatives, when it got to 60 and 4, they still had big winter coats on. I said, what are you people doing at 60?
Oh, that's me. That's me for sure. I'm a total wuss when it comes to cold weather. It's 60 out and I'm freezing.
Alex, interesting NBA season this year, and maybe because the West is different than it's been in past years, it's good. I mean, if we're, where the Trailblazers are, we love the fact that they are in the battle, certainly at this point, not something that many people expected. But what are your thoughts on, Sacramento now? It seems like the hot team in the bottom half of the week climbs into the playoff race, and it's kind of a scramble. And it's obviously very top heavy with Golden State and San Antonio and OKC, but it has been interesting, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. In recent years, the Western Conference has been so hard to crack that top 8. But this year, like you said, so many teams have gotten the opportunity to sneak into the playoff race because teams like Houston, New Orleans, Phoenix, teams haven't lived up to their potential because of injuries or, coaching changes or, whatever. But I think it makes things really interesting, and it gives hope to a lot of fan bases. Sacramento now, they're in the playoff picture. Portland is right there. Utah's right there. A lot of these fan bases, that maybe entered the year thinking that their team didn't have a chance to make the playoffs, or at least, we're a long shot. Now they have a legitimate shot, and it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams play to close out the year. It just makes those matchups between those teams even more important. I know the Blazers have a game against Sacramento coming up very soon at home. Those games are very important because, that can make you jump in the standings pretty significantly with how close things are out there at the bottom of the West.
Alex, what do you tell fans that their team is very close to making the playoffs? And some of the fans will say, well, high lottery picks are more important than playoff experience. What do you think about that? Is it playoff experience for the players, or would the GM do a better job in the future if he had better draft picks?
Well, I totally understand both sides of the argument. I think for the Blazers, it's interesting because their pick is lottery protected. So if they make the playoffs, they won't have a pick. If they miss the playoffs, they are going to be in the lottery, and they'll have a selection in the top 14. So it's kind of tough for the Blazers this year. Usually making the playoffs will only drop you down 1 or 2 spots. But for the Blazers, it's going to be tough if they make the playoffs to add, a guy in the draft unless they go out and acquire a first-round pick. So I understand the fans that say, look, if we make the playoffs, we're just going to get destroyed by a team like Golden State or San Antonio very early on, in the first round of the playoffs. At the same time, I do think that playoff experience is very important. However, when you look at this team, guys like Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, the fact that they have been to the playoffs, I think that changes things. If you had a roster full of guys that had never been to the playoffs, I would say maybe that experience is important. But I think in the Blazers' case, I'd almost rather have the lottery pick. It adds another talented guy to this team, another asset that can be flipped potentially in a trade for a big-name player. So I think the lottery pick is probably where I would go, but I do understand both sides of the argument.
Yeah, I mean it's debatable. I am one that says it's not worth sacrificing your culture to go after and roll the dice in what is a position in the draft that has been a toss-up in recent years and by no means a sure benefit or help. But how much has the Trailblazers, 20 wins, we talked about what the over-under was in Vegas. We only do that because those guys are usually right. They picked them at, 26.5. They're at 20 wins now with 36 games left. How much play nationally has it gotten that they are better than expected, at least from the national expectations go? And I think Terry Stotts doesn't get perhaps as much credit as he deserves in terms of the coaching job he has done with a team that added as many new players as it did.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that nationally, people are talking about them as being one of the bigger surprises. They've exceeded expectations because I don't think anyone thought after losing LaMarcus Aldridge and so many starters that they'd be in the playoff picture and playoff race. But, here they are. And I think they've had so many guys step up. Guys like McCollum, who I think right now is the most improved player in the NBA. I think he has a legitimate case for that award, and I have him as the front runner right now because he has increased his stats so much and been so impressive. Guys like Alan Crabb, and then like you said, so many new guys stepping up and being able to play and gain chemistry very quickly and get on the same page. And I completely agree about Terry Stotts. This is the final year of his contract that's guaranteed, and I think he's shown that he deserves an extension. He should be the coach long term there. If there were any questions about his status entering the season, I think he's gotten rid of them because he's done a terrific job to keep winning and keep developing these guys and acclimating these new players and not really changing his system, sticking with the three-point shot. He's done a fantastic job.
And you had a piece recently on Ed Davis that I saw on Twitter and retweeted talking about, he's one of those new guys and one of those great acquisitions that Neil O'Shea made, and he had glowing remarks about his new head coach.
Yeah, he said that Stotts was the best coach or his favorite coach that he's played for in his entire life. And I think that says a lot. He really loves Coach Stotts, and that's someone that's a big man. It's not even like he's one of the guards that's shooting a lot of threes and that's benefited from the offense. He just feels like Stotts is, very creative, very good at what he does, very good communicator. He was very high on Stotts, and really he was high on the Portland organization as a whole. In the piece, he talked about how they have a long-term plan, they know what they're doing, and he actually compared it to the Lakers and said in LA, everyone's kind of looking over their shoulder. They're trying to pursue star free agents and look at stars in trades, so no one feels like they're safe. But in Portland, everyone knows, the long-term plan, and everyone's comfortable. So he loves it there.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. It's been all softballs, but this all-star game coming up now. I had Lillard making it, but I had 8 other guys that would have, are fighting for that last 12th spot. Who do you have making, and what type of chance does Dame have with his 24-point average and his 20 wins so far for the Blazers and his leadership? How do you look at it as far as being an all-star?
I have him making it. I've seen some people, debate that. I don't have making it as one of the guards because I feel like there's too many talented guards in the Western Conference. That's where guys, like James Harden, Chris Paul, a bunch of point guards and really good guards come in there. But when you have those 2 final wild card slots, I would put him over someone like LaMarcus Aldridge or someone like Dirk Nowitzki. I think that the job he's done scoring the ball, the job he's done leading this team, getting everyone acclimated, getting everyone in the locker room united and on the same page, I think he deserves credit for that. I think that the fact that they have 20 wins right now is a huge testament to the job that Lillard has done. And I think also he's been a big part of McCollum's development too and his success. He's given him a lot of confidence and helped him a lot. So I do have him as an all-star.
Alex, great stuff as always. We'll continue to read your stuff at basketballinsiders.com. You can follow him at Alex Kennedy NBA on Twitter. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Alex Kennedy, our guest here on Trailblazers Courtside. Coming up.